What?
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zadora.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What color is that
Lovely
shirt?
day. It's kind of mustard, I guess, maybe. Mustardy.
Mustardy?
It's kind of goes. It's a Century 21. The colors
Well, I
go
was
with the
wondering
gray
about
and
that.
this. It's kind of it goes together.
I was wondering about that.
So when I saw it, I like the material though, actually too.
Big
It's
weekend this
comfortable.
weekend for
Yes,
you.
it is. Yes, it is. Cotter Trout Fest. I don't know. It's probably there. Probably for me, it's probably I bet 12, 14 years we've been going there, and it gets bigger all the time. Different things added on. You know, the ducks and everything else that happens. Be a lot of vendors there. I don't know if they're going to have. They may have the farmers market going at the same time, so that'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
So come on out, say hi, and
How important are those type festivals and events that we have throughout Baxter County, starting in pretty much March, run till August? How important are those to our way of life here?
they're what sets off our way of life. I tell people, you want to see small town America, that's where you go. You know, people talking to each other, people seeing the different vendors and things like that, shopping in a whole different way than you did when you were in Chicago or Dallas or wherever it is you came from, and having a personal touch with people, which is a good thing anyway with the computers and texting and everything else. It's good to be able to sit there and talk to people. And the number of people that when I'm in my spot in the tent there, and the number of people that walk by and see, oh, Fred, I have been. I hadn't seen
you
I
since
haven't
last
seen-"
year.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that. And look at your little Tommy here, how much he's grown. Those types of things. That's a touch that you don't get in a lot of other places. And people, they come there just with a good sense of being when they come to festivals like that. It's the Trout Fest is, they took the fishing part out and they did something else with that before that was part of it. I think the parade's still on though. There's a lot that goes on, but that is small town America. That is what why people come here. And just even the farmers markets on the weekends and things. Going and seeing what's there and just kind of poking around.
It's nice, this is one of the only places you can go to still in America where a guy will wave at you in his pickup truck lifting one or two fingers, and it's usually not the center one.
That's right, David. I used to tell people when we first got started, I says, yes, some people wave at you and they use their whole hand.
Yeah.
That's true, and they give you that little one finger that just kind of, it's like they don't even want to exert the effort to take it off the steering wheel. But
somebody told me a long time ago, there's a gauge for that. The one finger is, yeah, I know you. Two fingers, hey, how you doing? Three fingers, hey, nice to see you. Four fingers and leaving the thumb on the steering wheel is, hey, we got to do lunch sometime.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's different though. The whole point is we're not Mayberry by no means, but we are small town USA, and we still believe in the neighbors, and we still help people. We still do things that they don't do in a lot of places.
Oh no question, Bob. And that's what brings people here. That's the magic, as it were, of the area. And that's where people, I tell people, you can buy 3 bedrooms, 2 baths in a lot of places, but you can't buy what we have here there. And that's really the difference.
Yeah, you can buy 3 bedrooms, 2 baths anywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
You can't buy 3 bedrooms, 2 baths within 20 minutes of 2 lakes, 3 rivers, and mountainsides, and deer, and turkeys, and whatever.
Yeah, and literally whatever. And I tell people, you can get everything here you can get in other places, but when you go to buy ranch dressing, you may get a choice of 5 and not 50. And that's really, that's where you kind of notice the difference. You're gonna get local products. You're gonna get more of that here, and that's a good thing.
I was talking to a friend of mine that graduated high school from here. He lives up north in Illinois. It's where a lot of folks migrate back to catch jobs and plan retirement stuff. And I said, well, when are you going to move back there? Oh, I couldn't move back there. Why not? Well, you want to go to the grocery store up there. It's just down the road. And I said, okay. You go to the grocery store here, it's just down the road.
Yeah.
Well, but if you want to go shopping, you got to drive all the way to Branson or Springfield. Okay, how far is that? 90 minutes to an hour or 2 hours. Okay. How long does it take you to get from your house to this store? Oh, sometimes hour and a half.
Yeah, right. And it's a terrible ride.
Yeah.
It's not the miles, it's the ride. I mean, that's one of the big
It's
things
the
when
traffic.
we talk to people. Exactly. You know, so you go to Branson or you go to Springdale or you go,
Yeah.
Little Rock, Conway, whatever it may be. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not Conway so much, but in general, it's a nice ride. If you're going to go up to Springfield, if you're going to go to Northwest Arkansas for stuff, it's pretty. You got moo cows, you got scenery, you got mountains and stuff. It's not all traffic and smoke and people blowing their horn at you and stuff.
When Tina and I lived and worked in Dallas, I lived 17 miles from my office. And there are some nights that it would take me over an hour to make those 17 miles due to traffic.
Sure.
So I would go in at 9, wait out the traffic, and I wouldn't leave the office till after 6. Just figured out that was the better time.
Yeah.
And I could make that same trip in 20 minutes, right?
Yep.
So crazy.
But people, they kind of lose track of that, of how much time they actually spend in the car.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm, in a way, we don't have more electric vehicles here because you can get to places and get back. And you really, unless you're going to take a trip, you're going to go someplace. You're going to go to Chicago or something where you're talking hundreds of miles. There's really no place you're going to go that you would go through the whole battery. Just a thing we were talking, I had some people from Hawaii that were in and looking at houses and things, and they have a special needs daughter, and so we were trying to find out what would work for her in places and trying to see what was going to work best. And they were talking about cars, and I said, well, what's gas? And it's over $4 still, even now. Now you're paying obviously the transportation and stuff, and that was another place like, why aren't they all electric vehicles? Because you can't go 500 miles in Hawaii. no matter what you do, you can't do that. I said, that would have been the perfect test ground for them. They should have thought that through a little farther.
Yeah, they have their time and their place.
Yeah. But not here. I mean, the trucks and stuff, you can't haul hay. You can't do,
Right.
The guys pulling your mowers and things like that. Not for that at all. No question.
Yeah. Oh, can I use your charger? Yeah, if you're going to pay for my electricity. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and a lot of the states are going to a fee for them because they're not paying the gas taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to, they're still using the road. They're still heavy vehicles that are
Still
chewing
gotta
things up.
counteract it somehow.
So you got to, they're working on ways to get that, which has absolutely nothing to do with real estate. But it does have to do with the area.
However, you did mention the word tax.
Yeah.
Property taxes here are way different than they are
no
in a lot of
comparison.
places.
No comparison. Yeah. And they're coming down, and you just got more of a Homestead Act.
Up to
a credit.
$500, I hear.
It's
Up to
it's up-
$500, they said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got my form yesterday, so I just read it last
Oh,
night.
there you go. There you go.
You have to fill out this little, let me tell you though, you fill out this little form, you have to take it back to them because it has to be witnessed by a deputy, whatever, collector. or
Clerk.
So, but it could get you up to $500 homestead exemption, plus after the age of 65, they freeze your
You're
value,
frozen. That's the big thing.
which
You're
is
frozen.
nice. Yeah. And there's a little caveat there, unless you make a major change to your property,
Right.
which is good.
And that's fair.
Yeah,
You
which
know.
is good.
And it used to be it stayed frozen. If you were 65 and you sold to somebody else who was over 65, they just carried it right over. Well, that's changed.
Well, now the value changes.
Because you
It's reappraised.
you had some of these were like 30 years, old taxes and stuff, and so they changed all that. So now the home gets reappraised at full value, and then you freeze it there, which still is a good deal.
Smart move.
Good deal.
Let's take a look at your numbers real quick.
This week in real estate, there were, here we go, 51 new listings came on the market. 3 commercial properties, 21 parcels of land, 27 homes came on the market. They range in price from $135,000 to $1.5 million. 4 of them are taking backups. There were 42 properties sold, 1 commercial property, 11 parcels of land, 30 homes sold. They range in price from $495,000 to $90,000. The average sale price this week was $228,000 with 76 days on market. So things that are priced right and ready to go, 76 days is really small. 22 properties expired. There were 42 residential price changes this week. Currently, there's 408 homes on the MLS, so we're still over the still over the 400, and it's been probably darn close to a decade that we've been over 400. It's been quite a while. Year to date for 2025, there's been 313 homes have sold. The average sale price is $244,000 with 97 days on market. For 2024, there had been 358 homes sold. The average sale price was $239,000 with 92 days on market. In 23, there were 303 homes sold. For 221 was the average sale price. In 2022, 384 homes had sold with an average sale price of $218,000. 2021, there had been 356 sales with an average sale price of $180,000. And 2020, 319 homes sold with an average sale price of $157,000 with 144 days on market. So the market has changed. We're still moving ahead. People are still trying to get out of where they are. We're seeing just a steady flow of people. I think that there's some concern, people hearing the economic things and stuff like that, and even though it may not affect them at all, it's just that beat on the TV that they're hearing that. And that's kind of freezing them up a little bit. Interest rates are down in the high 6s, high mid 6s. It fluctuates every day. That's really a moving target. But go and get pre-approved. There's new FHA. I talked to Chris Nassari yesterday in a continuing ed class. He did a really nice job over there, over at the tennis
Legacy.
That was it. I apologize. Over Legacies. But he's got a nice little meeting room up there, and he had lunch for the realtors, explained some of the new federal programs that are going to be starting in a couple weeks, and so you may be able to avail yourself of them. They're really trying to do what they can do for the first-time home buyers, trying to help them out in ways that hasn't been done before. So that's a big thing. But go get pre-approved. Go make sure your credit's right, so that if you see something, a lot of houses out there, if you see something that you want, you can go get it. And that's really the thing. It's this season. I see a lot of babies at church. I talk to other people at different churches, and they've got a lot of babies there. So there's a lot of growing families, and some of those smaller houses get a little smaller, obviously, when you put a crib in there. And then you start talking about bunk beds and stuff, because it happens very quickly. That the little rascals go. No, I mean the little rascals grow, and so they're taking up more space in the house.
How they get you?
You get me by calling Linda. That's how you do it. Call my honey. She's at 870-405-0793. The website's retiredtoarkansas.net. You can call or text her, whatever is easiest for you, and let's see what we can do to help you out.
This has been This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zadora. 870-405-0793 is their number. Retiredarkansas.net is their website. These are realtors you can recommend to your friends. They're busy, but never too busy to assist you. We'll be back in just a bit.